Jonathan Scott gets nostalgic in emotional post, happy and sad at the same time. Oh, memories. HGTV star Jonathan Scott shared a recent discovery of childhood items that he said made him both happy and sad at the same time. Find out what Scott discovered and how his fans reacted. On February 8, Scott took to Instagram to share some sweet childhood items that he recently discovered. "Alright, I'm having a very nostalgic morning," he said at the start of the video. "My mom found, in an old box of stuff, a bunch of cards that I had made, for my parents and everything over the years." He added, "So I thought I would share." Scott showed the cards, from when he was youngest through when he was older. First was a sweet Christmas card that read, "Love John. Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas. I love you Mom and Dad." He noted, "Very cute. I had this thing where if I ever made a mistake, I would just scratch it out and keep going. See, imperfection is perfection." Scott also showed off a very creative way he used to decorate cards. "I loved cutting out other cards, and then I would make my own greeting cards," he explained. The HGTV star also explained why he signed the cards John. "For those of you who don't know, my birth name was John," he shared. "When I started performing more magic when I was older, I changed it to Jonathan." The next card to his mom featured a heart for Valentine's Day that included a "Roses are red, violets are blue" poem inside. "Who is the best mom in the world? It's you. I love you, John," the card read. On the next card, he shared how he took a page from Hallmark cards. "I noticed when you go to the Hallmark store, they always had the thing on the back," Scott said. "So I started putting something on the back. And I started doing that on every single card." For the next card, Scott noted, "I upped my game by creating it on a computer. This one is kind of funny, actually," he said, as he showed a scene on the inside of his parents watching The Magic of Jonathan Silver on a TV. His mom's speech bubble noted, "Well, now that John is famous, we can retire and live off of him for once." His father's speech bubble explained, "He still only pays me $5/hour." Scott said, "I don't know where that came from, but I thought it was funny." Scott's fans flooded the post with kind comments about his walk down memory lane. "Cute. Your creativity and construction design started early," one fan noted. "These are amazing. Love seeing how big your heart has always been," another fan shared. Others wrote, "Ah, whoa, so sweet. And you have always been creative." One of his followers noted, "Thank you for sharing your beautiful memories about you. These are very beautiful and adorable." Some fans weighed in about loving homemade kid cards. "Those are adorable. We moms absolutely cherish cards from our precious sons. Very sweet." Property Brothers Celebrity IOU just gave us the series' most emotional moment. The Property Brothers, Jonathan Scott and Drew Scott, are used to delivering emotional renovations to new homeowners eager to move into their dream homes. The twin home renovation expert brothers have decades of experience helping these couples find, buy, and update extreme renovations that they turn into forever homes. The brothers have also inspired several spin-off series together as well, including their venture Celebrity IOU. In Celebrity IOU, the Scott brothers help celebrity A-listers to surprise their friends, family, or loved ones with the gist of a home renovation that often helps change lives. Typical to most home renovation shows, Celebrity IOU has a feel-good element, as the celebrity nominators always have heartwarming reasons for why their loved ones are deserving of this special gift of a home update. But unlike other renovation shows, the twins have to work overtime to not only impress the homeowners with their work, but also to meet the high-end standards of their often picky celebrity nominators. In Season 9, the brothers have just delivered their most emotional home renovation update yet, with the help of Grammy and ALNA award-winning Hollywood legend Andy Garcia. The Property Brothers help Andy Garcia honor an old friend. Andy Garcia is Hollywood royalty. And in this episode of Celebrity IOU, he is asking the Property Brothers to help him honor his friend and fellow acting legend, Julio Oscar Mecos. Andy met Julio at university, and the fellow Cuban-American actors made their way through the film industry together. The pair worked together on classic Hollywood films like Internal Affairs, The Lost City, Magic City Memoirs, and A Dark Truth. When Julio passed away suddenly in 2017, he left behind his adoring wife and 2 adult sons. Andy wanted to honor his friend by renovating the family garage, where Julio liked to spend time with his family and friends playing dominoes and darts. While Jonathan recovered from a sudden illness, Drew and Andy went over to take a look at the property and get the project started, surprising Linda Meckos as she walked her dog to inform her of the surprise they had in store for her. Listening to Andy speak about his history in the film industry and his love of acting is a special bonus in the episode, as the actor has such a storied history in Hollywood. But when he speaks about Julio, it's not just with the appreciation of a peer, but it is with the affection of a friend who is also family. He refers to his dear colleague as a brother from another mother, spoke of meeting Julio at university, and their early days acting together. Jonathan and Drew Scott's backyard endeavor was a tearjerker. Andy helped the brothers convert Linda's backyard into an entertainment space, with the garage serving as a Julio cave. The brothers turned the backyard into a cookout space and the garage into a game room, complete with a home theater. Viewers were even treated to a moment when Andy dipped into his acting bag to tap into his tough guy persona and intimidate Drew into promising to keep the project to a timeline of 4 weeks. This wasn't a small request, either, considering the brothers provided a new roof to the garage, created an attic storage space, ran electric and gas lines to a new outdoor kitchen, installed a new HVAC system, and created a surround sound home theater space for the family to become the neighborhood center for entertainment in honor of Julio. The brothers and Andy invited Linda back home after her month-long stay away from home, revealing her beautiful new backyard entertainment space in honor of her husband. An emotional Linda gratefully thanked Andy and offered him the highest praise he could have asked for. Julio would have been so proud. Linda beamed with joy at the thought of entertaining her family and friends. Andy was satisfied honoring his dear colleague and brother, and the smiling property brothers achieved their most emotional episode yet on Celebrity IOU, The Strangest Things About Zooey Deschanel and Jonathan Scott's relationship. Ever since Zooey Deschanel and Jonathan Scott started dating in 2019, they've not stopped gushing about one another. The former New Girl actor and Property Brothers star are extremely vocal about their love, often enthusing about their romance by sharing the sweetest sentiments with the world. "I waited my whole life to find Zooey, and I've now waited my whole life to have my dream home with someone like Zooey," Jonathan said on Today in 2022. And Deschanel is equally quick to get lovey-dovey. "5 years ago today, I was lucky enough to go on a first date with this total dreamboat person. Here we are, and he's still making me smile every day," she wrote on Instagram in August 2024 to celebrate their anniversary. But, as we learned from the red flags in Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' marriage, even the romances that seem the most perfect from the outside have a few oddities. Deschanel and her man are no different, because there are some pretty strange things about their partnership we just can't ignore. They first met on TV and flirted in front of their siblings. It's awkward enough to meet someone you like for the first time, but meeting them on TV alongside your sibling while being recorded, that's one strange way to start a romance. Twee trailblazer Zooey Deschanel and Jonathan Scott know that all too well, as they were introduced in August 2019 while filming Carpool Karaoke, alongside her sister Emily Deschanel and his brother Drew Scott. She and her future fiancé sat in the front as she took the wheel, and both admitted they struggled to hide their affection for each other. Deschanel told Drew Scott and his wife Linda Fan on At Home with Linda and Drew Scott in 2020 that she was flirting with Jonathan and knew he was flirting back. Jonathan joked on the podcast, "I thought I was playing it cool. I didn't think anything of it. The producers said I was flirting so bad, so hard, they had to cut a bunch of that out." Drew then joked, Otherwise, you looked like a creepy weirdo. But even when Deschanel and Jonathan were ready to enjoy some time alone on their first proper date, that started out awkward too. She wasn't even sure it was a date because Jonathan asked her out and later messaged to see if she was attending alone. He said, "Are you bringing people?" And I was like, "No, just me," she said. And then I was like, should I bring people? Should I call my sister? The first date turned out to be unconventional anyway, as they visited an escape room. Deschanel was married to someone else when they got together. The timing of Zooey Deschanel and Jonathan Scott's relationship raised a few eyebrows, as the Elf star was still legally married to Jacob Pekenick, her second husband after Ben Gibbard, when their romance began. The exes announced their separation in a September 6, 2019 statement, which read, via Us Weekly. After much discussion and a long period of contemplation, we have decided we are better off as friends, business partners and co-parents rather than life partners. But as their breakup hit headlines, the Emmy nominee had already moved on with the HGTV star. Just 7 days later, Hollywood Life reported Deschanel and Jonathan were dating. He later confirmed their anniversary to be August 4. They didn't care who saw them out either, as they enjoying a public date night at a California restaurant. Zooey and Jonathan kept looking at each other and smiling and sat closely, cuddling constantly throughout their meal, an onlooker said. They seemed giddy about one another and held hands as they arrived and whispered to each other often. Pekenick filed for divorce on October 22, 2019, but a People source denied any overlap between the two relationships. They have been separated for several months. They are very private and are excellent parents, and love their kids so much and want this to be smooth for them, the insider said. Despite Zooey Deschanel and Jacob Pekenick not starting divorce proceedings, she didn't mind jumping headfirst into her relationship with Jonathan Scott, and things moved quickly early on. On October 21, 2019, Deschanel confirmed she'd met the other property brother when she made things Instagram official with her new man, following a date night with Drew Scott and Linda Fan. The foursome enjoyed a night out at Halloween Horror Nights, and Jonathan cradled his new love as they posed together. The following month, the 500 Days of Summer star had been further welcomed into the Scott family. Deschanel attended Jonathan and Drew's brother J.D. Scott's quirky wedding as her boyfriend's plus one, and the two got into the spirit in almost matching dark Batman and Catwoman costumes. There's nothing wrong with throwing caution to the wind and letting yourself be in love sometimes. But as therapist and relationship coach Matthew Pfeiffer told Bold, it's imperative to see people at their best and worst before making big life decisions. When you're in the honeymoon phase, you're only seeing the best parts of the other person. You haven't had any fights yet or seen each other when you're tired or stressed, he said. It's important to take things slow in the beginning and get to know the other person before getting too emotionally attached. For these two, though, a fast-moving start clearly worked. They hadn't set a wedding date over a year after getting engaged, though Zooey Deschanel and Jonathan Scott's relationship progressed quickly early on. Strangely, things then slowed down a lot. Jonathan didn't pop the question until August 2023, 4 years after they started dating. Equally odd. Despite neither needing to save up for a big day, Celebrity Net Worth claims Deschanel is worth $25 million and Jonathan $100 million. They still hadn't set a wedding date well over a year after Jonathan got down on one knee. Now we're so focused on the holidays that we're waiting. In the new year, we'll start thinking about what we want to do and how we want to do it, Jonathan told E! News in December 2023. Drew Scott then joked, "I just need to know if I'm planning the bachelor party, so I can get started," suggesting his brother and future sister-in-law hadn't even planned their pre-wedding celebrations. But despite Jonathan claiming they'd start preparations soon, they were still no further along by November 2024. Jonathan told Us Weekly even he was frustrated by their lack of plans, admitting, "I'm actually sick and tired of myself not figuring it out yet. We haven't had any progress." Drew joked he needed to know his brother's wedding date soon so he could book a vacation, proving he wasn't the only one growing restless over their lack of organization. Fans wanted to see Zooey Deschanel date Drew Scott before she got together with Jonathan Scott. In January 2014, more than 5 years before Zooey Deschanel and Jonathan Scott started dating, Property Brothers fans were hoping for a romance between her and Jonathan's twin brother. Awkward. Social media users got their hopes up after Drew Scott and the Yes Man actor chatted on X, formerly known as Twitter, with their messages seeming a little flirty. Deschanel posted her Elle cover and Drew jokingly responded, "That's the same wardrobe I was going to wear for a GQ cover. Great. Now I have to change." That inspired one